Hello, everyone. Quinn here, and today we'll be going over the 17th edition of the Muerto Times. So, I already said it in my last TCM video, at least I think I did, but no, I'm going to say it again here. As expected, it took them close to 2 months here to finally give us an update, or at least we know we're getting an update. So, as of me recording this video, this is about 2 days after the Muerto Times release. So, I believe it was released on a Tuesday, this is a Thursday. Regardless, since we haven't had any update as of today on when we'll be getting a patch, I'm going to go ahead on a limb here and say that we're probably not going to get anything until the last week of January. So a little disappointed that it's taken them so long to address any of these issues that's been in the game. Again, I don't remember if I said it before, but I'm going to say it again for sure. It is very irresponsible of them to release an update to a game and not be in a position where they can fix anything until months later. It's a pretty bad feeling when you pay for a character and it stays in this broken state for again months at a time, and everyone especially is just on their side because oh, it's the holidays. Well, you expect them to work on the holidays? No, I expect them not to put an update out when something could go horribly wrong and they can't even fix it because they're on holiday. But we're not here to rant about the ridiculous state this game has been in with these new characters. And before I even get into it, speaking of bad states, we have a hacking Johnny down here. I don't know if it's the same Johnny as everyone famously knows for hacking the game. I doubt it because I don't believe that Johnny usually text chats. This guy's very salty that my teammate here called him out for hacking. But again, nothing on Immortal Times about hacking situation. The last time I've heard them address the hacking situation was on their last dev interview or whatever they did on Twitch, which is months ago. So let's just get into these Immortal Times before I sideline to something else again. This is not going to be very long. I'm going to be very brief with these things. So for fixes and testing here, they have Wyatt knife crashes. I've shown this again in my last two videos multiple times. There was multiple issues with Wyatt's knives, usually with missing family members, throwing at a family with her feet and grandpa, etc. Hopefully, all of those are fixed because it's to the point where I literally don't use my knives to do anything but just arm traps or turn off the generators because it's just so annoying having to deal with all the nonsense that is associated with his knives. We have the Xbox crashes. That's something I definitely want to see. It's really getting old to always have an Xbox player crash, and then I even have one clip I'm actually going to show here where the game literally was less than a minute because as soon as one person on Xbox crashed, or rather didn't even load into the game because of the crash, it's a snowball effect of victims not wanting to be in a 3v3 situation with the family members, as that can end horribly wrong if so much as one victim dies from that point. We didn't have the rest of the entire family begin to quit because they didn't want to play a game where there was so few victims to kill. Then before you know it, I was the only person in the lobby. And I just basically wasted my time even load into that game. But moving on, we have the bones, endurance, and savagery issues. I can't really show it here, but literally you have to not be playing the game to not realize how horrible Bones' time to kill is, or notice that you've put all these points into his savagery, yet he still seems to take 9 hits to kill someone. So I haven't really been able to test to see if personally activated do anything. I have activated on the route I'm currently leveling, but I can't recall too many times I've been stunned, got activated to work, and that I've noticed any substantial reduction in time to kill. But I could definitely say the endurance, which I'm testing now. You'll be able to see with me doing a comparison between Bones and Johnny. First, I'll go over Bones running around in a circle, followed by me going down from towards the spawn all the way to the front of the house. And surprisingly, it looks like Bones' endurance seems to work. It's just a similar issue they had with Nancy, where for some reason the endurance is applying to their swings. As again, running from a circle to the front of the house with both Johnny and Bones, I'm seeing no difference in endurance. They both seem to be able to run that circle into the front of the house before they ever run out of stamina. However, when it comes to swinging, Bones can only swing 6 times, whereas Johnny can swing more than enough times to catch a victim out in the open. So again, there definitely is an issue with just his swings, not so much his endurance in general, which is good to know. So if you value running for an extended amount of time, leveling up Bones' endurance definitely is the play. It's just again, his swings aren't affected. So you probably want to just stick with the simple get Bones the 50 harvesting, as that's the only stat he has that actually works, followed by again putting the rest of your stats into his endurance, as that seems to be unaffected by the bugs. Again, the savagery is completely bugged. Don't bother putting a single point into it. And also, I want to mention there was someone who asked about his grappling shrimp on Reddit, I believe it was, or maybe it was Twitter. The devs do not seem to be aware of this issue, so Bones is going to be losing tons of fights because he's got no stats in the grappling like the rest of the family does since the new update on a grappling, which gives them starting value. So I'm not going to expect them to fix that until February. Same issue with Wyatt where when he throws a knife at Grandpa, it eats a bone scrap. I showed it off in a previous video, but I already doubt that's going to be fixed. That's just not on this list. Here. Typically, if it's not on this list and fixed in testing, it's not going to be there. But who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us and fix that, and the fact that he screams like Danny when he's on hook. Now, there's an issue with Hitchhiker. There's traps not dealing damage. This is when you step in a trap. If you step in a trap, it literally does no damage. I'm not sure if that's the case for you struggling out of the trap and taking damage, but I know for a fact the bleed damage still works. So that's not too big of a deal. It still is good to fix it nonetheless because it only does 15 points of damage when Hitchhiker catches someone in a trap, unless you do the extra damage add-ons, which do like 2 5 extra damage and stupid like that. The bleed damage has always been where he gets the most of the value out of his traps damage wise, as those can go from around 30 to like 70 damage depending on what you're stacking on a hitch. Now moving on, we have Cook's locks on Graveyard. This is under investigation, so this isn't going to be fixed this update. Maybe again next month. This is the fact that it's got to be the fact that the final gate getting out through the Gin escape cannot be padlocked by Cook. Strangely, literally every other lock on a map can be a padlock. I'm sorry, gate. So I don't know how in the world they managed to put a completely separate gate for the final escape compared to everything else. This is just typical gun incompetence, I'd say. But again, it's good to see that they at least have that on the radar to fix. Speaking of other things to fix it that's on their radar, we have Grandpa Perks incorrectly staying alive. I swear they said that they fixed that last update. I've never really seemed to experience this. I can't recall too many times where Grandpa got stabbed and we still had perks activated. I couldn't say for Grandpa perks and stuff with victims as everyone runs bones with blood bills, so he's always like level 3 and above. But again, regardless, it'd be nicer to fix that. We also have Danny moving slower than other victims. Again, I've never noticed this, and I've actually used Danny. Now, unfortunately, I think every time I've used Danny, it's been on Graveyard. I've never been able to get out the basement, but unless you're getting side by side with another victim, I don't know how people even notice he's moving slower than other victims. The question really is, does he move so slow that even family members without scout can catch up to him? But moving on, the final thing we have here in the list is stuck spots on the graveyard map. I'm not sure what this is referring to. I haven't seen any issues where people have wailed and got stuck in the ground or got stuck next to things. Only thing I can really think of this has to do with is the fact there's some fat shims in the map where you could try to go run past some gravestones and there's like some sort of invisible collision, kind of like what was going on with Rush Week, where there's like all the bean bags and whatnot in the house that you get stuck on, and just lamps you couldn't pass by, and you get like, cornered up and killed by the family as a result. But again, as for actually literally getting stuck onto a surface and not being able to move, just basically an interaction, I've never seen that. So that's gonna be it for this Mortal Times. The 4 things that we should be getting fixed are good, but there definitely are a lot of other things that I don't see fixed that I'd like to see. Thankfully, they're not really game breaking stuff. It's just a little annoying things. Like it's not that big of a deal. a bone scrap gets eaten with knife. I'm sorry, when Wyatt throws a knife at Grandpa, as there's really no benefit of throwing a knife at Grandpa at all, except if he's like booby trapped by Hitch. So it's a little annoying again that you would lose your bone scrap for throwing it at Grandpa and still get highlights too, which I don't think makes sense. You should be highlighted unless you're next to Grandpa, but I guess they wanted to either still have you be located from stabbing him, or maybe it's just the fact that everything is just like spaghetti coated, so just reducing Grandpa's level just automatically activates the whole you being highlighted for extra duration after type of thing. But again, I don't want this video to be too long. It's just going over more to time. So I'll of course be keeping you guys updated whenever they release new patch notes on the game or the characters. I'll end up clumping those into one video as I really don't like doing little drip feed videos for content. There's really not much to say, but oh, this costume looks good. I can't figure out how to upload shorts. I when I find out how to upload a short or whatever, I'd probably do something. But if it's gonna automatically categorize this video, I'm not gonna upload a 1 minute video. That's stupid. But again, this video's gone long enough. Thank you guys all so much for watching. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. If you haven't already, get a life.